Welcome back to part 3 of that album, the Princess album, and I'm just flipping through the pages. We're on page 5 right now, and I'm going to start by adhering a piece of the worn grid paper. It's 4 by 6, that's the size. And I'm just going to stick it down and punch my holes, and I'm actually going to show you filing the holes, which is something I've been doing off camera in the past videos. I've been editing it out to save time. But the trick to filing paper off chipboard is to always just push down across the paper and the chipboard instead of rubbing back and forth. And now I'm just cutting my pattern paper and laying it out how I think I want it to be. This is also something that I normally do off camera, and I normally don't start filming until I know exactly what I'm doing. So I just thought this is actually how I start. So now I'm going to ink up my pieces, and again, this is Colorbox Fluid Chalk ink in Chestnut Roan. And I'm using a cat's eye I found just lying around. So trimming and inking. And then I'm just laying all the pieces out. Each piece, except for these 2 strips of brown cardstock, is inked in the Chestnut Roan. And the dimensions are the large flowered piece is 3 by 5, and the pink piece next to it is 1 by 5. The pink piece below the grid paper is 1 by 6. The grid paper is 4 by 6, and these little pieces of brown are wide, and they're 6 inches long and 5 inches long. And now I'm going to file the hole again since I covered part of the hole with the brown cardstock. Now I'm taking a brad and I'm going to put the brad on the page, but I can't put the brad through the page since there's something on the other side. So I actually cut off the little feet or prongs or whatever, and I smooth them down with a bone folder, and then I use glossy accents to stick it to a pop dot. And now I am working on page 6. Page 6 is pretty much a mirror image of page 5, except that it has this window. And that's actually how I came up with the design of these 2 pages, is to sort of highlight the window. So just putting down the grid paper and inking all around. And then adhering all the little pieces. And again, the dimensions of all these pieces are going to be the same as the dimensions of pieces on the previous page. And the great thing about this album is, I did buy this album, but it's very simple design. You could do it with some chipboard lying around, or even just a few layers of paper. It's pretty simple to do. Just trimming. I'm actually trimming on a glass mat. I think that craft knives work so much better on a glass mat than they do on a self-healing mat, because the knife just skims across the surface of the glass and it doesn't dig in the craft mat, so you need less pressure to cut through the paper. And this is a 13-inch by 13-inch glass mat I got from EK Success. You could get them anywhere. I think I got mine from Joann.com. But if you do a lot of work with a craft knife, which I do, a glass mat is a really handy thing to have. Just burnishing the little strips to make them really tight. I just want to make sure they're really tightly adhered. And now I'm filing the holes to get them nice and smooth. And I'm going to put down more of the brown, and I'm just lining it up with the brown on the previous page to make sure it's in a good spot, and that it looks the same. And now I'm trying to match it up here across the window. It's tricky. It wasn't like impossible, but probably could have been done easier if I thought about it. I'm going to put down another brad. You see I put the pop dot there. I cut off the prongs using a bone folder to make sure they're down really tight. And I put a drop of glossy accents in the brad to stick it to the pop dot. And that's just because pop dots don't always hold metal very well. So I wanted to make sure it definitely would stick to the pop dot. And now I'm just picking some chipboard accents. And I'm actually going to be filing them down. So what I've done, I ran out of battery on my camera, so I skipped ahead a little bit. But I filed all the chipboard accents so they'd be totally smooth and they wouldn't have any of those tags. And now I'm inking all the chipboard accents with the chestnut roan ink and sticking it all down with glue dots because they're so thin, they have a really low profile. They work really well for projects like this, and they're very strong. So that's page 5 and page 6. And in the next video, I'm going to work on page 7 and 8. And then the final part will be the back cover and the acrylic cover. So again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy and stay tuned for parts 4 and part 5.